Have you ever wondered if the way you handle self-pleasure after 50 could actually be working against your health? Many men assume that masturbation is always safe no matter what. But the truth is, certain habits can quietly drain your energy, irritate your prostate, or even make intimacy with a partner less satisfying. And because so few men talk openly about this subject, mistakes often go unnoticed until the problems show up. That is why in today's video, I want to share with you the most common masturbation mistakes men over 50 make. Mistakes you should never make if you want to protect your prostate, preserve your energy, and keep intimacy healthy and enjoyable. By the end of this conversation, you will not only understand what to avoid, but also how to approach masturbation in a way that supports your health instead of harming it. The first mistake is overdoing it. Now, let me be very clear. Masturbation itself is not harmful. It is natural. It is normal. And in moderation, it can even support your health by relieving tension and keeping the prostate active. But the key word here is moderation. Especially as you get older, in your 20s or 30s, you could probably release often and bounce back with very little consequence. Your hormones were at their peak, your energy was higher, and your tissues recovered more quickly. But after 50, the body begins to require more recovery time. Hormone levels shift. Muscles and tissues are not as resilient as they once were, and the prostate itself is more sensitive to irritation. When masturbation becomes too frequent, say several times a day or even once a day if your body is showing signs of fatigue, you may notice that instead of feeling relaxed afterward, you feel drained. The prostate can become swollen or tender, the pelvic muscles may feel tight or sore, and your overall energy may dip. This is your body's way of saying, "I need a break." If you ignore those signals and continue to push, it can lead to longer-term irritation, difficulty with urinary flow, or even weaker erections because the tissues simply have not had time to recover. That is why a healthier rhythm for most men over 50 is moderation, somewhere around 2 to 4 times per week. That frequency is often enough to support prostate health by keeping fluids moving, but not so much that your body feels depleted. And remember, every man is different. For some, twice a week may feel perfect. For others, every other day might still feel comfortable. The key is not a strict number, but listening to how your body responds. Do you feel light, relaxed, and more at ease afterward? Or do you feel heavy, sore, or tired? Your body will tell you what the right balance is. But as a rule of thumb, less often than in your younger years is usually best. The second mistake is rushing. Too many men treat masturbation like a quick chore, something to get over with before bed, or a way to release stress without really paying attention to their body. But here is the problem. Rushing increases friction, creates unnecessary strain on tissues, and prevents you from actually enjoying or relaxing into the experience. Over time, this rushed, high-friction approach can lead to irritation, small tears in sensitive skin, or even numbness because the nerves become overstimulated. It also trains your body to associate pleasure with speed, which can make intimacy with a partner more difficult, leading to early climax or difficulty slowing down when you want to. A safer, healthier approach is to slow down and treat the act as an opportunity to connect with your body, not just a race to the finish line. Allow yourself time to relax into the moment. Pay attention to sensation and breathe deeply. This not only reduces irritation but also enhances pleasure, making it a more satisfying experience overall. Using lubrication is another important step that many men overlook. As we age, natural lubrication decreases and skin becomes thinner and less elastic. Without lubrication, friction can cause irritation much more easily. A good lubricant reduces that strain, protects sensitive tissues, and makes the entire experience smoother and safer. When you approach masturbation this way, with moderation, patience, and care, you turn it from something that quietly wears down your energy into something that supports your body, your prostate, and your overall well-being. The third mistake is using masturbation as a substitute for connection. Now, let me be clear, masturbation on its own is not harmful, and for many men, it can be a healthy outlet. But when it becomes the only form of intimacy in your life, it can slowly begin to chip away at your well-being. Human touch, emotional closeness, and shared intimacy are powerful forces. They do not just make you feel good in the moment. They directly influence hormone balance, stress levels, and overall happiness. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, rises when you connect with another person, and that hormone supports not only your mood, but also your cardiovascular and sexual health. If self-pleasure replaces every other form of intimacy, you may notice that your energy dips, your mood feels flat, and your overall satisfaction with life declines. This is not because masturbation is bad. It is because the body and mind are wired for connection. The solution here is balance. Use masturbation as one part of your sexual health, but whenever possible, seek out meaningful connection with a partner, whether physical or emotional. That balance protects your health far more than relying on one outlet alone. The fourth mistake is ignoring your body's signals. This is something I see often in men over 50. They begin to notice heaviness in the pelvic area, or some soreness after release, or even changes in urinary flow. Instead of listening to these warning signs, they push through, assuming it is just what happens with age. But your body does not send signals for no reason. Pelvic heaviness may mean the prostate is congested and needs more recovery time. Soreness could mean the tissues have been strained by too much friction or too much frequency. Urinary discomfort may mean the gland is irritated. These are not signs to ignore. They are your body asking you to slow down, adjust, or take better care of yourself. When you listen to those cues and give your body more rest or adopt a gentler approach, you protect your prostate and allow intimacy, whether with yourself or a partner, to remain comfortable and enjoyable well into later life. The fifth mistake is letting guilt or shame take over. This is one of the heaviest burdens men carry, especially as they age. Some men wonder if masturbation is wrong. Others fear it makes them weak, and some carry old cultural or religious messages that leave them feeling guilty every time they engage in it. But here is the truth. Masturbation is natural. It is not a weakness, and it does not make you less of a man. In fact, in moderation, it can support healthy circulation, keep the prostate active, and help manage stress. The harm does not come from the act itself. It comes from the way it is practiced and the mindset you attach to it. If you approach it compulsively, excessively, or with guilt, it becomes a source of tension instead of release. But if you approach it with balance and self-respect, it can remain a safe, healthy, and even beneficial part of your life. At this stage of life, you deserve to let go of shame and focus instead on caring for your body with wisdom and respect. So, let me bring this all together. Masturbation after 50 is not dangerous, but certain mistakes can make it less healthy than it should be. Overdoing it, rushing, relying on it instead of real connection, ignoring your body's signals, and letting shame dictate your habits are all pitfalls you should avoid. When you replace those mistakes with balance, gentleness, awareness, and self-respect, you protect not only your prostate and your erections, but also your confidence as a man. I want you to remember this. You are not too old for self-pleasure, but you are too wise to ignore your body's needs. Take care of yourself, listen to your signals, and use masturbation as a tool for health, not as a source of harm. I am Dr. Charlotte Hayes, and I thank you for joining me today. If you found this conversation helpful, subscribe to the channel for more practical, supportive guidance on men's health, intimacy, and vitality after 50.